Hey everyone, we're back. We've got ZELLLOOO here, going to run Mega Man Network transmission any percent. And just a reminder, we've got our next marathon coming up May 9th and 10th live at FWA. And the schedule is available at fastestfurs.com/schedule. With that, take it away, ZELLLOOO.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Zelo or Zello, however you want to say it. Never matters. I don't know why they keep bringing me back on, but they are. So today we're playing some good old Mega Man Network transmission. So this is a fun spin-off game in the Battle Network series for Mega Man. It takes place between the first and second game. Before we get into any farther, I brought in two funny people from the Team BN community to join me today. If y'all want to introduce yourselves real quick.
I'm Fat Kid. I used to race this game sometimes.
And I'm Yuki. I think this game's bad.
It's a fun bad game, but there's a lot of good things about it. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So we're just playing any percent, just going to be going start to finish. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Time's going to be after this cutscene starts, or after it ends. So, like I said, this takes place between the first and second Battle Network games. This is a platformer that takes a lot of Battle Network elements. So right here, we've got the ending of Battle Network 1 right here. Spoilers if you haven't played that, but I don't think that's that important. But we have to do the very important Mega Dab right here.
That was the Lucky Typhlosion.
Yeah, that's the Lucky. So we're defeating the Life Virus at the very end of the first game. The backstory is that we stopped the World 3 that headed by Dr. Wily. And we're going to go on a new adventure after that. So this is going to be a very fun and exciting run for how difficult it is. And I'm going to let Fat Kid go ahead and explain most of the stuff in the first stage when we get to that. But this game is a really fun run. It's one of my favorites. I love doing it. It has a lot of cool elements about it in the run, and just topped off with a really great soundtrack. So we'll have fun for the next hour, hopefully. That being said, time is going to get started soon in... Guess I could have counted that off a little bit better there. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique platformer. It's like as ZELLLOOO said, it's like a mix between BN and classic Mega Man. The movement in this game feels very good, and you have like a deck. You bring your deck into stages and you draw random chips. There are some ways to guarantee a draw called regging a chip, and that's what ZELLLOOO just did there with the sword, and that'll come in very handy for the first boss. The way the overworld works also is there's like an internet hub area, and then you go through that area to reach the other stages, at least at the start, and then the other stages unlock. Just starting off with cannon here and sliding. These are the chips. The money's Zenny, that'll be used for... What are they even used for in this game? HP ups?
Isn't it just busters?
Yeah, it's like buster
we'll
ups,
upgrades,
that's about it.
We'll get upgrades of all kinds, and a few chips using the money.
Yeah, this game's a little strange in the difficulty curve. This game starts off, like, insanely difficult, because your basic attack, your, like, buster, your Mega Buster, is almost useless. Almost. But you can upgrade it.
Yeah, it does 3 damage a hit right now. For reference, the cannons I'm using do 40.
Yeah. But you can upgrade it later, and it becomes, like, the complete opposite. It becomes extremely good. The yellow bar is just, you know, the life bar. The green bar is essentially a mana bar. It goes down as you use chips, and if you run out of the green bar, you can no longer use chips until it refills. And the custom gauge, the blue one at the top, that lets you redraw cards. So, you know, it lets you draw more cards out of your deck. Just basically just cannoning everything for the first 3 stages-ish of the game. Cannon's a pretty good chip.
It is very good. We want to get a lot of cannons. So this game does have a ranking system, just like normal BN. You just can't see it. But by killing a virus in 3 seconds or less from when it's loaded and not taking any hits, we S-rank it, and that guarantees us a chip. And we want to get a lot of cannons from these cannodums, because cannons, a lot of the straightforward attacks are generally the better ones in this game.
Yeah, the thing you just picked up hopefully won't be relevant at any point, but it's a backup data. Those are just your extra lives. If you run out of lives, you get kicked out the stage. Classic Mega Man stuff.
So, I'm going to equip Heat Armor. This is something for marathon safety, because this game is extremely punishing if you die. So we're just going to try and do everything we can to mitigate death, because it's even worse than if you die in Classic. So this is what happens. We've got a net on the fire, so if you've ever had your hard drive just kind of burn from the inside, this is what happens, and Navi took it over. This game is also really heavy on callbacks to the classic series. Like, you might recognize this little slide pattern from Fireman's original stage in Mega Man 1. The developers really took inspiration from the classics.
Unfortunately, they also... Sorry, what'd you say, Yuki?
The way Mega Man, jumps is just straight up like, hey, classic
Yeah,
Mega Man.
that's true. They also took some, especially for the bank stage, that one's very obvious reference. We'll talk to that when we get there. That one's probably, everyone probably hates that one if they've casually played this. There's no Flashman to help you with it this time.
So why don't you talk about bosses in this first one and how interesting they are in this game?
The bosses in this game are pretty brutal. Basic way it works is they get iframes if you shoot them with chips, but if you use the Mega Buster, they don't get iframes. This won't be relevant for this guy because we're gonna outsmart him by simply standing in front of him, slightly out of his range, and then hitting him with a sword. He was being a bit mean, but that's what Heat Armor's for.
Yeah, so you can see my HP is below half. If I didn't have that Heat Armor, I would have died, because that Heat Armor cuts damage in half. The bosses in this game do ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah, without Heat Armor, that guy two-shots you. I think the next boss, like, three-shots you too. Bosses do insane damage. This is a really difficult game, at least at the start. It eases up a bit later, but the level design becomes more evil to make up for it. Here, just regging cannon instead of sword, so that's the guaranteed draw we'll have in the next stage. This is bank, right?
No, we're going through global.
Oh, global. Sorry, I've played this game before, I swear.
So we're gonna explore more of the normal internet before we start doing like individual comps. So we're gonna go find some information. The story right now is that Fireman was infected by a virus from a vaccine that was given out. So we're gonna go investigate the source of that. So hopefully I'm gonna make this bridge cycle. This is actually a tough cycle to make on this screen.
I guess I should mention, if people are familiar with classic games, slides work basically like Mega Man 5. You can just jump out of them whenever you want, unlike 6 or something like that. You don't have to like turn around or anything, thankfully.
I'm not gonna make that cycle now. I got caught. That's fine.
Unlucky.
Yeah, we would be able to grab this bridge, like, right on the cycle, but that's fine.
First gimmick there of the zip lines. I think they're used like once in another place, and that's about it. So we mentioned the ranking system, but for the most part we don't really need any chips other than a couple specific ones. We'll be sticking to like very specific chips. So thankfully, like RNG in this game, it's pretty low on that end. All of the RNG basically just comes from boss attacks, which, you know, is pretty normal, I guess.
Or getting early draws in your custom screen, which is a getting a good time in this game.
I did kind of ignore the entire fact that the deck is randomized, but oh well, just get lucky.
Yeah, because there are points where we do need to change chips, but if you can draw them without needing to set your folder up again, then that really helps.
Thankfully, because of reg memory, as long as you're just trying to like finish the game and not go for a world record, it doesn't necessarily matter. You're always just gonna get what you need at least, even if you lose time. This is Number Man, best Navi.
We love him.
Does Higsby have? Yeah, Higsby has lines in this game.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Anyways, so
we just need them.
Yeah, true.
So, plot-wise, we found that Starman was selling the fake vaccine. He ran away. We try and chase him. He's gone. And then Dex is like, hey, that vaccine I installed also infected Gutsman. Please come help me. Because Dex can't take care of himself or load a backup. Because it's Dex. So we're going to go beat up Gutsman, who is actually surprisingly very difficult in this game.
It's an evil, evil boss, yeah. They have a lot of HP and even more damage. They will free-shot you, I believe.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, I did draw a sword in my initial draw, so I don't even need to reg it, so this is a good start. Because going into the custom screen to reset a chip for regging and redraw everything is very slow. It takes almost 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So this is just free time save. But hopefully we'll have an okay fight here. I need to do 5 cannons and 5 swords, and hopefully we won't have any happy accidents because he hits like a truck.
Yep. He's pretty random too, all the bosses are. He's thankfully a little slow, so he's not too dangerous. We're spacing out the shots here just because after getting hit, the boss has iframes.
Good fight.
A very good fight.
Yeah, because if you try and slide under, you can slide under him, but if you try and do that, he usually just counters with an immediate guts punch when you stand up and you can't dodge it, so
Yeah.
and it hurts. So thankfully we didn't have to do that.
Oh yeah, by the way, Arica made this game. If
Yeah.
anyone knows that company. They're cool. They make like fighting games and arcade games usually. But,
Yeah, best known for Tetris Grandmaster.
yeah, or potentially Street Fighter EX. Most recently made Fighting EX later, I think. Cool company.
Alright, so the game opens up a little bit more because in good old video game fashion, everybody decides to call us all at once. And so we can pick from 4 stages, so we're going to go to the bank first and withdraw 1 good speed run, hopefully.
Yo, TJ. So,
So, speaking of callbacks, I hope
Yeah.
y'all like Quickman.
Go ahead,
You like
the level
Quickman?
that walled me for like an hour.
Only an hour is pretty good. This stage is brutal.
this is, despite being basically the second stage, they throw multiple instant death gimmicks at you, which is great. You don't have to choose this one first, I suppose, but the other one isn't much better. This one's definitely better for the speedrun, though.
I like reaching the bottom and getting hit with that big boss at the end and just dying
Yeah.
anyway.
The giant shaker guy.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. I survived through the lasers and die anyway. And then it sends me all the way back up.
Picked up a mystery data, those were like little diamond things are. It's just a reg up, so that gives us more reg memory to equip stronger chips to guaranteed draw them. Because at the start you're limited to 8 megabytes, 6
Yeah,
megabytes?
8.
8.
We'll max out at 32 later.
Yeah, and we will need that. We'll need all 32. Each chip has its own value of megabytes, and that's also how much of the green mana bar it takes away when you use them.
Alright, Quickman. So this is the most fun fight in the game, but it's also the most execution heavy.
Yeah, I think this fight will.
They start doing blocking gimmicks, so it's a little tricky, and I don't have a lot of mana to work with, so this is a little sketchy.
This is
It's a little sketchy.
probably a super frustrating fight casually if you don't know how it works, but yeah, you just have to shoot him once to make him counter you, and then you attack him while he's attacking you. A lot of fights work this way, which is a little lame, but this one's cool.
This is not good. Let's do this.
Just
Okay.
taking it slow here,
Yeah,
because
'cause
we're
I
about to die.
did not want to die. Like I said,
There
dying
we
is
go.
the absolute worst thing, because if you die in this game, you don't get your chips back. Like, you'll refill on HP and MP, but you won't get your chips back until you actually, like, leave the area.
Yeah,
so
and
you
that's
are left with very low resources.
Devastating.
So I'm just glad we got through the fight okay.
You have to reg sword or something there.
Oh, that would have been miserable.
That's what Verolix does to fight him.
It is fast, if
It
you
is.
can do that. Oh, I have extra money because I actually got an extra Heat Beef earlier. So we bought a couple things there. We stocked up on Heat Bees, which are a really good chip, both casually and for the run. And we also bought one unlocker, because there is one purple mystery data in this level that we need to open up.
Yeah, probably pretty self-explanatory, but some the mystery data's some items are locked, so you just have to have an unlocker on you to open them up. They're pretty expensive, but they're worth it usually.
At least I don't have to buy 18 of them in this category like I do for 100%.
That is correct. 100% has many issues, but none of them rival
Rush.
Yeah, I was about to say, none of them rival Rush. That was some
I don't know, I
sadistic
think the 20-minute money grind at 100% is worse.
It's worse for the speedrun. Casually, I'd definitely say Rush is worse.
Yeah. This level's pretty straightforward though, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna jam to the music.
This is probably what this game's most known for, is the soundtrack. It's a very good one.
Amazing soundtrack. Like, definitely top 5 in terms of composition, and it's my personal favorite. We're definitely making sure we get tree bombs. We want 4 of them. So we killed those kill plants to make sure that we get 4 for later, because they're very useful, both casually and for the run.
Yeah,
Pick up
especially
the,
on
data
2
here.
specific bosses.
So that's one of the Buster power-ups we need. We're picking up 5 of the Buster power-ups, and we're going to buy 3 more. Nice, caught that cycle. Okay, here's a scary jump right here, because if I die here, that's like a minute and a half gone. So I'm always terrified of this, no matter how many times I do it. So we need to get this mem up. And then we need to leave the pit.
There's a lot of jumps like this where you basically have to use the grace period for walking off a ledge and jumping. It's a little easier with sliding sometimes, but obviously it's run a preference.
Alright, so Needleman, we're going to abuse elemental weaknesses here to get double damage.
I think this is one of the hardest bosses to fight straight up, but thankfully we have PP, so it doesn't matter.
That cheater shot behind him. I hate when he does that.
Yep.
But he's also scary. I did pick up a backup HP memory that I use for marathons, just in case for this boss alone, because he two-shots you in a normal run.
Yeah, just
He is
look at how
extremely
much
scary.
off of that one back.
One
Yeah.
little hit, lost
One
half the
hit.
HP.
Yeah, with that backup HP memory, I do survive 2 hits. I can just barely. Alright, so back to shopping. So we're gonna buy 1/2 energy. That's my backup HP just in case for the run. We're gonna buy 3 elect blades, which are pretty useful on the boss and just kind of can be used as backups elsewhere. But this is like one of the longest and most complicated stages, so I'm gonna lock in and let Fat Kid take over.
Yeah, Waterworks is, I'd say it's the longest stage in the game, at least in the first half. One important thing to note here is there's an incredibly important chip that one of the enemies drops called Double Jump. I probably don't have to explain what the chip does. You can probably figure that out, and it lets us skip a lot of, intended sections that we don't really want to do because they're slow. Here are the enemies that we delete. Get those little penguin things.
The little Pepes, that's really what they're called.
Yeah, little Pepe.
Oh my god, are they?
Yeah.
They're Pepes, yeah.
They're called Pepe.
In fact, you also forgot to give it the proper English name. This is Doob Jump.
Oh, true, I'm sorry. Dupe Jump. They couldn't fill the characters in. Oh, I probably should have also mentioned, this is the US version, despite everyone speaking Japanese. They didn't dub this game, that's all. The US version is the fastest. Japanese is slower, because transitions are slower, if I remember right.
Yeah, so the Japanese version has extra sound clips that take up time and aren't skippable. And in the US, they just flat out remove those.
Which weirdly is, a common theme for every Battle Network game, almost. For some reason, Japanese versions always have, extra transitions and sound effects that they remove in US, and it ends up speeding it up.
Yep,
Thank you, cartoon stations.
I know. I forgot to do this folder edit earlier, so we're going to do this now. And hopefully we'll get a little bit lucky here.
We're just taking out some stuff that doesn't matter, putting in Seed Bomb, Bubsy, and Double Jump. Sorry, Dupe Jump, I think.
Doob Jump, yeah. I took a hard hit, but I'm still okay, thankfully. I'll use a couple of recovers just to make sure I don't die in one hit.
Yeah, I assume the transitions were removed from ROM, for ROM space, but I mean, obviously that's not the case with this game, I have to imagine. I'd be very surprised. Who knows?
Pretty sure it was just like, oh, we can't let the kids know this is an actual Japanese thing, because they also removed the opening that just plays.
That's
Yeah,
true,
they
and then they
did.
just kept all the voices in where they
Kept all the
speak
voices
some,
in anyway.
some mysterious language that some 8-year-old US kid is not gonna understand.
What the hell's Rockman?
There is a funny thing that happens that we'll talk about in Color Man Stage. But anyways, we've got this Puffy here. This is one of 2 mini-bosses. And Shockwave is really the only efficient way of getting rid of it.
Yeah,
Because it
this...
splits into 4 Puffies, and then those all split into 4 Puffies.
I have no idea how you're actually intended to do this fight. This fight is insane. It takes so long to defeat these guys.
Man, what I wouldn't give to know how beta testing went for this game.
What beta testing?
Woo!
Anyways, we love this game to death, don't get us
I
wrong,
love this
but,
game, yeah.
but there are definitely things that we always question, like, we don't know how this happened.
Any issues I have with this game, I just think about how good the movement feels, and I'm like, it's all worth it.
Yeah, that works.
Also, the gimmick with the chips and mana gauge.
Oh no, I
think that
died.
works really well. Oh no! You didn't see that enemy there. Unlucky. Okay,
Damn,
so dying
gotta
there
watch where I'm
teleports us
going.
back.
Yeah, the Death Warp just gets us there with full HP and full MP, and we can redraw Elect Blade, which we're going to use on Iceman coming up.
Yeah, because Iceman is weak to electric, not fire.
I also appreciate the upside down snowman in the background. That one's the best.
That one's pretty good.
Alright, so we'll 3-shot him, but we have to be careful not to get hit by his Mega Attack, so we're going to do this in a very specific way. I've never seen him jump like that. Okay, well, plan's out the window, but it's fine. We'll just slash him in the face. I don't think I've ever seen him jump after the first attack. That's a new one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either.
And I have played this game for like almost 5 years. Actually, it's been over 5 years at this
He
point.
usually just keeps running forward or throws an ice cube at you.
Yeah.
Doesn't usually jump like that.
I don't
Thankfully, he
know.
does do at least with the contact damage, he does less damage. Than
Yeah, it does like
the
almost
bosses.
nothing. The super attack like kills you in one hit,
Yeah.
so you just don't want to see that. Alright, this first screen for the shopping comp is the coolest for horizontal movement, if I can do
This
it right.
is my favorite stage.
This is a really fun one.
Yeah. We wreck Tree Bomb, so we start with that because it'll be used on the boss. We use a very not intended tactic for the boss, I guess. But I actually don't know how you're intended to defeat the boss, so maybe this is what they wanted.
I don't think the developers did either, don't worry.
Yeah. I think some of the
Being
bosses
said,
are
my-
cool.
Yeah, but unfortunately my draw is actually really bad, so we're gonna just make do with what we got and just do some damage boosting to get around these.
Yeah, the movement for the start of the stage is super cool. I like that.
I think I'm gonna have to use recovery to just damage boost past these bunnies because I don't really have resources right now. So we're just gonna tank. We're gonna be very careful not to get hit by Zaprings.
Yeah, if you get hit by a Zappering here, they will combo you to death. They stun you, and then you just get comboed.
Stun you, and then again,
Yeah.
and then again.
Yeah, especially if you get hit by Mega Bunnies in Power Plant, you are dead.
Thankfully, contact damage with them does not stun you. It's just the attack they use.
Yeah, ain't it funny how they start the game with a Zappering?
So, if we do this next boss fight right, you shouldn't see anything. So, Fat Kid, please quickly explain in 5 seconds.
This doesn't make any sense. But you shoot above this boss's head, he puts a shield up, and then as he transitions to his idle animation, his shield goes down. So we time the tree bomb to hit as his transition switches, and then we can just continue throwing tree bombs as his iframes run out and his shield doesn't come back in time. That is probably the hardest boss for a casual player, because
If you
Like,
try
his
to fight
mechanics.
normally, you will get pummeled.
his mechanics just don't make sense. It's hard to figure out what to do, because if you shoot at him, he just counters you over and over again. So that's the easy way to take care of him.
Yep. So
And
as long as
obviously-
you don't see anything from him, it's a good fight. That's what you want.
Yeah, Brightman is elect, so he is weak to tree bombs. We make a lot of use of boss's weaknesses. At least till we get Buster.
Alright, so now we're going to start setting up our dupe jumps because now we can start breaking stages with them. Especially if we're going to have a nice little trip to the arcade here. Although it's the worst arcade with no music games, nothing I like. I don't know why we're going. Interestingly enough, there are some slot machines in the very background.
Yeah, there's a slot
And yeah, but the rock wasn't localized to Mega, which is pretty funny. Anyways, here's Color Man. We're going to go chase Color Man around because we think he's got some info on whatever's going on around here.
If I recall, this is the only boss that he's not even affected by a virus.
Nope.
They're just
Don't have the funsies.
they're just messing around.
Certainly is colors. Anyways, yeah, Dupe Jump completely broke the very beginning of that. We skipped a very long backtrack, having to go all the way to the right and back left. Now we just skip all that. And just because Dupe Jump lets you jump as many times as you want as long as you have chips and MP.
Yep, that as I mentioned earlier, that little green bar, just barely having enough to keep double jumping. It works out pretty well, actually.
I love that dash attack just gives you a little hat.
Oh yeah, I love the fishy head.
As opposed like in the actual games where it's just it's basically just a fist.
Yeah,
You just
charge
kinda
us
follow
forward
it.
with
Well, this is also most people's favorite track in the game. It's a really good track, but it's not my personal favorite.
That goes to Starman for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Star is also very good. But there's really...
Zero Gravity is just too good.
Yeah, there's really no bad choice in this game. Like, music in this game is amazing.
Yeah, I can't really think of a track I dislike.
Oh, I almost fell off because I almost forgot to slide. That was scary. That was
Oh.
very scary.
That was very close, yeah.
Alright, now we have one of the worst bosses coming up.
Just picking up another mem up for Reg Memory. This boss is very random. They can choose to do basically 3 things. The worst one is sometimes can be just walk forward, because they can just walk forward over and over again until you're trapped in a corner and can't get past them in any way. So hopefully that doesn't happen. If they throw the ball, you can at least dodge it. Oh, there's the walk. Okay, it looks like we're good.
Yeah, I could have probably gone for like more swords, but I'm gonna play the safe and just kind of.
That fire attack isn't stupidly hard to dodge.
It's very deceptive where the hitbox.
Like,
is for
if
it.
you like speedrun the game, you can get used to it. It's not that bad, but casually it is not what the visual looks like at all.
How did I dodge that fire tower? That did not look like that should have worked.
What? How?
Oh yeah. You were just slightly to the left.
It's just barely like outside of that hitbox.
We take those.
Oh,
Decent fight, though.
I guess he just wanted to play nice for once.
I don't think that would have killed you at least. You would have been left on 1 HP.
I had enough. I'm fine. Alright. Off to power plant next. So we're still looking for information on the Zero virus. So we're going to check out this power plant because the email came from our biggest fan to be like, hey, you should check out the power plant. And this stage is the most difficult to manage MP on.
What's your least favorite stage in this game? You
Zero account.
What's yours? You?
Oh.
You know it's this stage. This stage is
I had a
awful.
feeling. I had a
It
feeling.
is awful.
Yeah, stage is definitely one of the worst to die on because obviously, if you use your dupe jump chips, and you die, you have to actually do the stage normally because you don't have any double jump chips left.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen here.
Yeah, so
Let's put all the enemies that can stun lock you in the stage.
go get hit.
To be fair, this is a very fun level in both this category and 100%. So
It's
I like
different.
that.
Obviously it is because it's based on the Mega Man 1 stage. This is the most vertical stage in the game.
It also has a really sweet track. This one doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. Just that angry bass line and everything.
I think this stage is a really good track. Probably in my top 3.
I'm not gonna catch this cycle. I'm just gonna wait. I wanted to catch this cycle, but it's fine.
That ladder is once again another very evil part. Getting through that ladder is tough.
We want 2 dupe jumps right here because we want to skip this entire room because this is the worst room in the game to do normally.
Yeah.
By far.
This
You have to go up a ladder and then down a ladder and then back up a ladder and then catch the other one. It's
you have to
not
do
a good
ladder
time.
platforming like it's Minecraft or something. It's pretty special.
Well, now we're gonna cap off the stage with one of the scariest bosses because I get two-shotted. So I'm gonna lock in here.
Yeah, as long as you like concentrate, it's for the most part a pretty easy boss. But the faster you fight him, the more difficult it is because they spawn clouds that attack you. The more you attack them, and there's not really any limit to them, so the whole screen can just be covered in them. Switching to tree bombs here.
Okay. That went okay. I played it a little safe, but like I said, he two-shots you and the clouds are very random, so just anything to avoid dying.
The little
So-
point attack is very funny looking, but it is terrifying.
It'll be more relevant later. We'll get into that at the end of the game. But thankfully, that was a pretty good first half of the game. So this is where the dynamics really gonna change. Because we're gonna do some shopping while we set up the story. So while we do that, what are y'all's like favorite little pieces of like lore runs in this series?
Or, like in terms of the in-game story.
Yeah, like out of the whole series.
Trying to think of funny things, less interesting things.
My funniest thing will always be the PET throw in 3.
True. The
That
PET
was
Mega Man
great.
attack is a great scene. Alright, this isn't funny, but I guess the elegant way they made this like timeline makes sense. A bow network happens if Wily gets funding instead of Dr. Light.
Other way around.
I'm sorry, other way around. Dr. Light gets funding instead of Wily. And everything becomes more internet-based rather than robotic.
Yeah, especially for early 2000s when this came out. Like it was such a good concept.
So the spoiler relationship between Mega Man and Lan is pretty neat.
Yeah. You got anything, Yuki?
Mainly just one that bothers me when you pay attention to some of this stuff. Why does Lan have the BN3 Fat model?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
The one from 3.
it uses the wrong PET.
BN3 was in development at the time, so they probably just took it from that and didn't realize.
Yep.
Well, it is funny. Anyways, so let's recap what we're doing here during story thing. So we actually went and triggered the next part of the story, and we also activated a shortcut because for once, Lan decided to use his brain in the series and be like, oh hey, why don't I just make a bookmark here? So now I can access that area from the map, and I don't have to go all the way around. So while we're doing that, we also backtracked to Numberman's to buy the remaining 3 Buster power-ups that I wanted. So we had 8, so we throw all of those onto level 5 attack and level 5 charge. So this means not only are my attacks really powerful for my Buster, I also charge them extremely fast, which means the Buster went from being the most useless thing to being the most broken thing.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but one of the most important parts about it is the Buster doesn't cause iframes on bosses like chips do, which lets us chain like Buster into chips or just spam Buster. It speeds up the bosses a lot, as you'll see.
Even just the general gameplay is going to feel more like say Mega Man 4 through 6 or such, where you can actually use the Buster. So we're a lot less reliant on chips for attacks, and that lets us do funny things like the beginning of Old Area 1 right here.
It also lets us just fully use our MP bar on just double jumps and utility chips for the most part. We don't have to worry about saving them for like cannons and stuff anymore.
Oh hey, that's Old Area 1, goodbye.
Yep, they put the exit at the top of this stage, so we just jump up there casually.
I remember this area. Do you remember this area, Fat Kid?
Nope.
You sure, buddy?
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
Especially like the upcoming like jumping gaps you gotta do later. I'm sure you're very familiar with
It's
that.
not ringing the bell. I think I have 1 or 2 highlights to this area. I can't remember half
Yeah,
of
you
them.
sure?
Yeah.
I remember it pretty good. I think you would too.
Well, I'm sure ZELLLOO isn't going to make the same mistake and fall down one of these holes and double jump.
I've had some pretty close calls, but I also have played the stage a ton, so I should be okay. Like, we're
Probably my
already at the end
second
of the level.
favorite stage, despite
It is a really fun one.
all of my funniest fails being on this stage. I think it's because I really like the slide jumping on those like short platforms, the really thin one.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the bosses, and you're gonna see why the Buster's so good, because we're not
Yeah.
gonna trigger iframes, and we're gonna trigger a lot less attacks, so this is
So-
gonna be less scary.
While you're watching this, I just want you to keep in mind, Proto Man lost to this guy.
There we go. He played nice. He didn't go to the ceiling like he has been lately. So yeah, we saw one attack from him.
Proto
That
Man lost to that guy. What happened? Guess he was in the air. Proto
He
Man
was in the air.
weakness.
Proto Man doesn't know how to deal with air attacks. Anything in the
Unlucky, bad matchup.
air. Alright, we're gonna go shop at Higgsy's. We're gonna grab some barriers. Barriers are very good in this game. So we'll get those equipped a little bit later. But Swordman stage was one of the most difficult. That's like one of the most execution heavy. And the
Yeah.
next one is no slouch either.
I think old area and zero area are the most execution heavy. Oh, I guess Ferroman stage is close, but not really.
No, I think just getting past the first cycle is all you need in Pharaohs, but we'll cover
Yeah.
that. Everything else in that is pretty chill. But this is actually pretty difficult because everything is very punishing, and we need to start getting mega cannons from the
This
Canada
this is gravity area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is also in the runnings for execution heavy, I'd say. The gimmick of this area is that depending on what surface you're standing on, gravity will be like less or more. So on the purple floors, gravity is increased by a lot, so you jump way less higher. But obviously, Zoe's used to that, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, and then like these yellow ones like are even worse. Like they really, really don't want you to jump on those.
Yeah, these gold, like bright yellow ones.
I'm glad I
Super
had the above
gravity.
V's. I'm glad I had the above V's equipped because I cut that Buster shot way short. So like I said, we want to get mega cannons from the Canadum 3s, so really need to make sure I S-rank those. Gonna pick up an HP memory on the way, just damage boost past that Hammer Joe, who does a ton of damage.
Yep. This is probably... actually, no, it's not really a tricky spot. Tricky spots and stuff. Picking up an HP memory there. For damage boosting, mostly.
So we're gonna do another folder edit right here. Gonna put in the barriers, Mega Cannon, and High Cannon, and we'll reg the barriers now. So thankfully barriers are pretty much what you'd expect. They give you a free hit and some temporary vulnerability, but we're just going to use those to just run to the end of the stage, because there's a Megallion at the end, and all Megallions in this game have 100 damage auras, so, and the Buster's not powerful enough to damage a 100 damage aura. Anyways, we're coming up to Gravity Man here. We're going to hope he does nothing.
Yeah,
He doesn't move.
Lan specifies that this is a very simple program, I guess, referencing how he doesn't really move and has very simple attacks, but he makes up for it by having hitboxes that make no sense. And
Yeah,
doing a lot of damage. Yep.
I actually
It's,
did have a run the other day when I was practicing for this where he did literally nothing until the last Buster hit. I wish he could do
Sometimes
that all the
nice.
time.
Yeah.
I love the part where he can just summon like possibly 4 to 5 gravity balls. when
Oh,
you're
you
invisible
have to
and just
dodge all of them. Yeah,
immediately just kill you.
The hurtbox is super weird on him too. Doing those jump buster shots isn't too hard, but it's not as you'd expect. Like a little tighter.
yeah, especially since the arms will just block if they are even remotely close. Unfortunately, I did not get either of the Wii shooting chips, so we're gonna have to do a folder draw in the middle of this stage.
I didn't mention it earlier, but just random note if anyone's curious. We removed repair by now, I think, but if you do draw repair, what it does is it makes disappearing platforms like Yoku blocks in Classic Mega Man, it just makes them stay on screen the whole time. It also has a secondary effect where you can use it to reveal hidden passcodes that you can use in Bannock 3. I think it's Bannock 3.
Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting they had that kind of compatibility.
Yeah. Neat.
Alright, so no grav, we've got, it's not exactly no gravity, it's more like very low gravity, so we get very high jumps here, but we have to be careful not to smash into spikes. Like, spikes in this game don't instantly kill you, but they do 200 HP, and at this point in the game in a casual playthrough, you probably have about 400, 500 or so. I have a little over 200. So they still hurt. Anyway, story-wise, we're still going into the Zero account to look for more info and find the source of the virus. Dad sent us a vaccine because we had gotten infected. And it's like, hey, here's a vaccine. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long enough because the virus keeps evolving. So, thanks, Dad.
He's doing his best.
He is. But, speaking of doing our best, we're going to do our best against this mini-boss coming out. So this is our second mini-boss in the game. This thing has the absolute worst hitbox.
Speaking of funky hitboxes.
Yeah, so we're going to reg bub V and use that because trying to hit this thing dead on is basically impossible, but we can use area of effect to do a little bit better here.
You're supposed to hit the very middle part of this thing, except it's moving up and down, and it's very difficult to get any chips or even the tiny buster in that tiny gap. It's pretty rough. But bumpy experience.
Just aim good.
True.
Yep. Speaking of aiming good, here's Starman. I'm just gonna hopefully chain him down because he is the absolute worst.
If you don't loop this boss, he can decide to kill you if you get really unlucky. He has a near undodgeable attack.
Hey, there it is.
Oh goody.
Oh good, I was able to get on the other side of him.
What ZELLLOO's doing is they're hitting them with a buster to make them attack, and then they're knocking them out of the attack with the high cannon. Hopefully not get hit by stars. Also, yes, Sunny can fall out of bounds.
Yeah,
Don't know why.
That happens.
Don't know why.
It's really punishing at this point in the game too, because you really need the money. Money's really tight. So,
The money just falls in random spots, and sometimes it's just out of your available area.
This happens.
They definitely have a protection for that too, because you can see them like get stuck on an invisible wall sometimes. But
Like, of all Mega Man games to not be able to go out of balance, why did it have to be this one?
true, maybe we just haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah.
I guess now that you say that, yeah, this is a pretty solid game in terms of not being able to break it that much.
Yeah,
compared
like
to
from
lot
a
of the other
programming
ones.
perspective, this game is actually very solidly put together.
Yeah.
And clearly, you guys haven't been like dash attacking through ladders like fast enough.
True.
I guess
true.
not.
Slot in battleship, no clue.
Alright, this next stage is pretty boring in this category, so why don't you just go ahead and explain the boss now?
Is it Pharaoh Man?
No, it's Zero.
Oh, I forgot about Zero.
I wish I could forget about Zero sometimes.
Right.
But you didn't get the sauce data?
Oh yeah, this lost that.
True. So, Zero is definitely the worst boss in the game because he has an undodgeable attack that he can do at any point when he's low on health, as like a retaliation when getting hit. He can also loop the undodgeable attack into itself, I think an infinite number of times. It's just random. Hopefully we just get lucky. All we can do is barrier through the undodgeable attack. Hope we see it at least once, not to be mean, just so you can see how ridiculous it looks. It covers the entire screen. It really is undodgeable. The general strategy is to just shoot them, make them counterattack you, and slide away.
Oh,
then
there it
get
is.
charge shots.
There's one.
Oh, here it
Oh.
comes.
So we're gonna hopefully bait him into just doing an attack, and there we go. And then I can just high cannon him out of it. So there. That we only had one Phantom Zero. That
There.
attack does 300 damage, so that instantly kills me.
It does more damage than spikes do.
Yes.
They really looked at the X series and went, all right, we're gonna take the zip lines, we're gonna take the character, that undodgeable attack. Yeah, sure, throw that in there too.
Attack is so mean. Like
I know.
also, there is a story choice kinda you have here. You can save Zero by collecting source data, but it's optional, so we don't save Zero.
Yeah, sorry,
Sorry,
I'm gonna
Sarah.
have to put my Tabasco sauce on something else.
You know,
Anyways,
Yeah.
so we delete Zero, and we think, oh, everything's done, but then the professor comes out of the hide and be like, hey, I'm the one who was selling that fake vaccine and release Zero because I'm gonna revive the life virus and there's nothing you can do. So in typical BN fashion, we're gonna go beat him up.
yep. And don't worry, you're not really missing anything. Saving Zero just gives you like an email, a chip, and a slightly extended ending sequence. So nothing in the run is missed because of that.
Yeah, at least not in this category. For 100%, you do need to do that.
Yeah.
Man, all of this for a boss that Mega Man one-shot in the cutscene.
No, this is the 0.5 version. It's upgraded.
Alright, my bad. 2 shots, maybe.
There you go.
I always wonder what Land does with like all of Mega Man's programs from game to game. He just gets rid of them or overwrites them. And knowing Land, that's a very real possibility.
Somebody.
True.
True. I remember somebody told me, like, they just assumed that every PT model is not compatible with the past chips. Which...
I need to stop on my favorite line right here. So we need to be as crude and rude to get into the undernet. So, this is my favorite line. You gonna try and stop me, huh? Don't try any funny business or I'll have to stab you. Rawr.
Rawr.
You're so nasty.
So nasty.
By far my favorite.
You gotta get it.
I don't know what that is in the Japanese script, and I should probably ask Jagumba, like, what it says, because I hope it's just as hilarious. Speaking of Jagumba, big shout-outs to the JP community, because people like Jagumba, Yashi, Blackjack, all of them, they have put in hours upon, like, every game in this series, and they are fantastic, so huge shout-outs to them.
Especially the Game Boy Advance games. They run quite a lot, especially Jagumba. They're live like every couple of days.
Alright, so 2 more stages opened up for us because we can't get into the undernet. It was trapped by a booby trap that sent us to the center instead. So we're gonna go find some clues. So first place we're gonna go to is Number Man to stock up on some goodies, and then play Legendary next.
Just traveling through this hub area. Most of the enemies are pretty weak, so nothing too important going on right now.
Yeah, you one-shot everything with full charges, or even some of them even with half charges at this point. That's just how powerful level 5 charging is.
Yeah, unlike Swan, they decided the half charges should maybe do something.
I still love that this shortcut exists. Just go to the back end of Outernet backwards.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely intentional. I feel like some of these were pretty intentionally made to skip with utility chips. Neat.
Well, speaking of things to skip, we're going to skip another ladder puzzle right here, because this one is just as bad as the one in Nalek.
We're done with money here now, I'm pretty sure. We got our last mem up and HP memory.
Yeah, we'll buy some more at the end of the game, but we should be pretty set on money, thankfully. So, this is what your grandparents' internet looked like, and this is my also my favorite track in the game.
This is a top 3 track for me, that's it. I mean, maybe top 5. I really like Starman, Zero Gravity Area. Sorry, No Gravity Area in this one. Legman's pretty good.
Alright, so that's all my dude jumps. So we just need to navigate to the end. I want to beat a cycle on these platforms. I did not want to take that ratty hit. But we should be okay still. As long as we get out of area 1, we're okay.
Those ghosts are so stupid. I'm just gonna run. Those ghosts can teleport anywhere, including inside of Mega Man. And just hit you if you're really unlucky.
Bad,
He did stay anywhere.
It's
anywhere.
It's fairly rare, but it can.
We can't clip, but Spookies can. That's the compromise. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just equip barrier right here. We're just going to use this to run to the end of the stage because this area has lots of very powerful enemies that we just don't want to deal with.
Yeah, they went a bit crazy.
Like this big guy has like 400 HP. It's like, no, I'm not dealing with that.
Plus, with the amount of HP Mega Man's got right now, I'm pretty sure every single one of these enemies other than the ratty one-shots. So
Yep. Anyways, fun trivia for this. Like I talked about how this is my favorite track. Well, two of the composers for this game were Shinji Hosoe and Ayuka Saso of Super Sweep, and you might know them better if you play music games because you might know them better as Sampling Masters Mega and Sampling Masters Aya. Also, say hi to my wife's favorite ratty. This is Shushu on the other side. Shushu has ended many runs before we started using barrier there, so thanks, Shushu. And it is into the Pharaohman fight.
Yep. This fight's probably easier in the speedrun than doing it casually or anything, because Basically, the longer this fight goes on, the more statues it can spawn that starts just doing AoE undodgeable damage to you until you destroy it. But if we get lucky, they won't spawn any and we can just kill them forever.
This Ratty is zoning me out. I hate
Yeah.
this. Okay, we didn't see it in Anubis, so that's fine. So the Anubis, if we'd seen it, it would take 3 hits of anything to destroy, and I would get poisoned for a tick before I could destroy it. So,
Yep.
and he could drop so many of those. So thankfully that didn't happen.
Yeah,
It's just giving you the battle network 1 PvP experience.
Yeah,
True.
really.
If that
That's
fight goes
true.
on for a while, it gets chaotic as hell. It's pretty mean.
Okay, so we didn't talk about this really, but whenever you defeat a boss for the first time, you get their signature attack as a chip. Most of those are not really that great, but the one we got from Starman is actually surprisingly useful. So we're going to use Starro in this stage for a pretty big skip.
Most of them are only good for doing funny program advances, but unfortunately none of them are like useful in this run other than one. The gut shoot program advance.
Oh, this is so good.
If anyone's willing to look it up, please do. The gut shoot program advance is hilarious.
Yeah, it's not even like how it is in
Oh,
the other BNs.
they
where,
go out
like,
of their way to make it look cool in the like GBA games. Look like, you know, stylish, and then in this game it just looks stupid and hilarious.
It's just yeet.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeets Mega Man.
Anyways, so we're gonna do the big skip here. So Star Arrow is just like Super Arrow from Mega Man 5. So if
Yep.
you know where this is going, we're just gonna use that right here. We're just gonna shoot our Buster because it's gonna look funny when we get to top speed. Slide under that. We outrun our Buster shots right here. We skip over all of these Gutsman cards because they decided to put Gutsman cards in this level.
Yep. In Shadow Man's level.
Yeah, of all
For some
places.
reason. I think the devs realized that Star Arrow is pretty powerful though, so they only gave us 1 use of it. Which is,
Yeah, unless you want to farm for more, but that's very
Yeah.
slow to do.
It's not really used. I think it's just used here. I think there's another place.
Alright, next fight's pretty scary, so we're going to take the safe strat, and we're going to rank M Cannon. So this has a very funny strat if we do it right. I actually got to do the extra funny version in RTA in Japan last year. But looks like we're going to do the fast way. So Shadow Man has a scripted counterattack whenever you flinch him. We're going to abuse that right here.
This is my least favorite boss fight, the one I've died to probably more than any other.
And then we're going to use standby to see where he's at, and then just shoot him. So standby allows you to just pause the game. You normally use it to switch chips without time passing, but we can use that to see where the real Shadow Man is. Snipe him out, so very fun fight. And that's going to bring us to endgame. We're coming up on the last stage coming up. Also,
Yep.
Shadow Man decides to hide in the leaves of the cyber trees in the destroyed subway station. I'll let that speak for itself.
He's just like me, for real, for real.
So that's what you do on the other side of the pond. Alright, take over for a second while I do all this folder edit.
Sure. So, story-wise, we're just coming up to the final encounter. The folder edit here, we take out a bunch of chips and put in single-use chips. This is so that we can just, you know, go through the folder really fast because we want a specific series of chips to do the final, like, boss rush, essentially. After each one of these gauntlets, you have your folder, like, refilled. Roll has folder back. They're broken like that. And because of that, we can carry a program advance plus some other chips through 3 different boss fights, essentially. And it's very useful. I think Juggerjazz came up with this strat years ago.
Yeah, I think it was Juggerjazz a long time ago, so big shout outs to Juggerjazz. Like, this was like a decade ago when this was made.
Yeah.
But we're going to basically burn through our folder so that we can guarantee we have what we need. So that's why I only took 1 chip at the beginning, because when I open the folder again, I can pick an extra chip for every one I didn't take. So I'll be able to pick 9 on the next round, and then I can pick up from there. So it just works out to where 3 full cuts is just enough to be able to look at the entire folder and guarantee I get everything I need. Also, very scary shot right here that always looks cool. Just shoot the ice cube out of the way and just barely land on that platform. And if you miss that, you die. So this is why we bought the MP charge, because I need to like physically burn through the chips, because as long as I have 0 of a chip, I can't draw it again. So now we're just gonna get rid of stuff that we don't need. I'm gonna be very careful not to take Z-Saber because I didn't get many low-cost chips, so that ended up in my folder, but I don't want to use that because that has a really high
Yeah.
cost.
Even though these
Oh,
chips,
Miramasa too.
even though these chips are single use, we still need to be like re-engage the mana to use them. Otherwise, we just like sit there staring at them unable to be used.
Man, what a weird place to put that refill above like the area range.
I know,
Yeah,
it's
I never
really
really
weird.
thought about that. That is kind of weird.
They usually put it like past it, but like nah, above.
Yep.
So they
Alright.
wanted to make sure you could see it, whichever side you landed on. But I don't
Yep,
know.
so we assembled Zeta Cannon, which is Cannon, High Cannon, and Mega Cannon together. So this lets us use Mega Cannon as much as we want with invulnerability for 10 seconds or so. So we just use that to completely destroy the firewall. By the way, this is what firewalls look like.
True. They have miniguns and rockets. Despite what it looked, I mean, that was a really fast fight.
Let's skip one.
That boss does have iframes, so that's why they weren't shooting like as fast as they possibly could. Yeah, they had to stagger it a bit, even though it doesn't look like it has iframes.
Alright, now we got the boss free fight, so we're gonna fight the first 8 bosses again. But we have Buster this time, so it's gonna be a lot easier.
Yep.
Fireman's still funny, just trying so hard. I do not have the MP for a PB on Gutsman here, so I'm gonna have to save it. MP management is still pretty critical because that's actually why we still have Tree Bomb and PB. We want to still use some things on the bosses.
Yeah, just to speed it up a little bit.
Oh, he got me. He tagged me. Alright, hopefully Brightman won't do anything again. There. A nice, easy Brightman. Don't want to see anything from him. So Ice is pretty easy. We're just going to shoot him in the face a few times. It's really the next fight that we want to be careful because Quickman, but that's what we actually have Zeta Cannon for. Because we just want to just end this as soon as possible. Okay, that worked out.
Kind of run his choice what boss you use Z Cannon on, but basically everyone chooses Quick Man or maybe a Ledge Man.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it on Elec.
Me.
Okay. Speaking of Elec, we have a nice loop for him right here.
Yep.
He has a very, very menacing finger rattle that we're just gonna abuse. Just look, he's trying. He's trying. He's gonna get me.
I'm gonna get you. You.
It's so good. Alright, so that's the boss rush. That was
Very
pretty
nice.
well. That was a good boss rush. So that brings us to the very last point. We just have one cutscene and then 2 forms of the final boss right here.
Yeah, very easy final bosses, right, Fat Kid?
The first part is.
Well, but you can't die to the second one, remember?
Just true. The
Yeah.
second one only drops you to 1 HP unless you make contact with it.
Shoutouts to my cheating allies, by the way, being able to destroy enemies that still have auras. I wish I could do that.
That
I
would
want
be-
whatever hacks they have.
I like.
Anyways. Yeah,
Like how
so-
if you look at this cutscene as an observer, you're like, but Roll didn't do anything. Oh no. She did the most important thing of all. She gave us our chiz back.
She gave us the power of friendship as the original anime opening goes by. Anyway, so we have 2 forms on this first boss. Live Virus has an aura for part 1, so we're going to use Zeta Cannon and Charge Us together to lock it down and defeat it right before Zeta Cannon runs out.
Yeah, just if you alternate charge shots in Zeta Cannon perfectly, then you can kill it before the Zeta Cannon runs out. Nothing to worry about.
Yep.
Just
So time is
cannon.
coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, time is coming up when this boss hits 0 HP.
It's the little core thing. So if you get hit by the projectile, it puts you to 1 HP and it can't kill you. If you jump into this boss, contact damage, it will just kill you.
Yeah,
Which
this
I
is
have
a
done
really
many
And
times.
time.
weird glitch. If you die to it, it also shuts off your GameCube for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's great when that happens.
Yep, time. GG.
Yeah, that's good. And we just get the professor arrested because somehow they were able to find his house within 5 seconds of me destroying the life virus. And now the professor is cooling his, well, we'll see in a second, but he's cooling his heels, Heals. His heels.
GG, good job.
Thank you. So, like I said, this game is really fun. Also, if you play this game, please don't play this on a GameCube controller unless that's somehow you're most comfortable. I am playing this on a SNES controller with an adapter. It is so much more comfortable for this game in particular. But with that, we're going to jack in one last time because Lamb wants his desserts. So that is Network Transmission any percent. I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all got any final shout outs before we head out?
Just thanks for watching, everyone, and I guess shout outs to the previous runners of this game. Kind of led to the route was used, like Doyson, Terra, Maple, BLK Yoshi, and Verolix. I think that's everyone.
Verolix and Mabel especially taught me how to play this game. So
Yeah, Maple especially.
Yep.
I think they're the ones that came up with the idea to mill through the folder.
Yeah. But big shout outs to Fat Kid and Yuki for joining me for some fun times. Big shout outs to Fastest First for always having me. I'm happy, like, I'm not a furry myself, but I'm always happy that y'all accept me as a guest here all the time and let me do some cool things with y'all. So y'all be excited for the next marathon, but I'm going to pass it back over to Badger for final announcements. So I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.